Hello, Oracles. What can we expect from Tesla in 2023? Well, we might actually get a couple of those things before we end 2022. We are looking for a new Gigafactory location coming up and getting that announcement very soon. We've got the rumors circulating about Mexico. We also know that local governments over in South Korea are battling to see who is going to host the Gigafactory over there. And now it makes a lot of sense for Tesla to have Gigafactories opening up, I don't want to say simultaneously, but probably one announcement for each location in North America and one in the Asia Pacific region, because those are two different areas of the world, because those two areas are the areas that they're really focusing on, and I have no doubt that those are going to be the two areas that they're going to be opening up next. Which one they're going to be announcing first, we don't know, but Elon said we should be finding out very soon. Next is going to be the new potential COO. Tom Zhu, as we have been talking about, has been rumored to be taking on a much larger position in the company. Obviously, he has done an amazing job over in Shanghai, and we just got word that Tom Zhu has stepped down as a legal entity of Tesla, and his longtime deputy, Alan Wang, has stepped up as the general manager of Tesla China. This to me just leads us to believe that Tom is going to be taking on a much larger role, perhaps COO. We've been talking on here about him becoming Director of Global Operations, Chief Operating Officer is basically the same role, so that is probably going to be his new role moving forward into 2023. And of course, with new Gigafactories opening up, you want them to have the same culture of the best factory that Tesla has operating right now. All of Tesla's Gigafactories are amazing, and they're great in their own way, but clearly Shanghai pumps out vehicles and ramps up with production better than anyone else. So to have Tom Zhu be able to come in and get all of their factories operating the same way Shanghai does will be an immense movement forward for the company itself. And 2023 is going to be the year of the 4680 batteries. The 4680s are ramping up. We just got news that they are producing enough to make 1,000 battery packs on a weekly basis. We also got news that Panasonic is going to be ready to deliver these to put into vehicles by Q2 of 2023. So the 4680s coming from these different manufacturers to get put into the vehicles, we know that the Cybertruck is going to need them, and that is also coming in 2023. So if we're focusing all of these 4680 batteries into the Cybertruck with production starting probably, end of Q2, beginning of Q3, with deliveries starting right around the same time, I think we are going to need the 4680s. They are going to be the pivotal moment for Tesla, and watching these continue to ramp will be a big factor of them moving forward. We also have Project Highland that has been rumored. This is where we're going to be taking the Model 3 and really simplifying it and bringing the cost down of producing it. So we don't have a lot of details about Project Highland, but it's speculated to say that they're going to be making these with the structural battery pack. We do know that they were looking to do this with the Model Y and put the 4680s in it. So perhaps this is just kind of their first step into that realm of the structural battery packs with the Model 3 on a more scalable level, and then they will be shifting this over to the Model Ys as well with the 4680 batteries as those begin to ramp up also. Just things to pay attention to, but I think that the 4680 is going to be huge in 2023. And now we also know that the Semi is also going to be using the 4680s in the future. So with that said, we do have those ramping. Elon said that we will have 50,000 of them getting produced in 2024. My prediction was for 10,000 in 2023. We'll see if that 10,000 comes to fruition. We still need to get details on that, and I'm sure that we are going to get more specifications on the semi-truck itself along with pricing for them. And now with all of these vehicles ramping and the 4680s becoming so much more important, we know that lithium refining is coming. Elon has already said that they are going to be building a factory in Corpus Christi, Texas for lithium refining with the intentions of having it actually be productive within 2 years, whereas most factories take 7 years to get their lithium refining up and running. Tesla will be 2, so by 2024, maybe 2025, we should be seeing lithium refining coming out. So we will see that factory getting built over the next year in 2023. And I think in 2023, we are also going to be seeing price reductions on their vehicles. We have already spoken about it on here several times, and it seems like they're going to be coming down. Elon said himself that when interest rates go up as high as they are, the natural course of things is that the price is going to come down. So I have a feeling the prices of their vehicles are going to be coming down over the course of 2023 as well, We will see how Tesla handles this, but I think this is where they're going to be able to pull a lot of their demand levers to be able to get the volume up on all of their vehicles. And we could definitely see legacy auto getting buried this year if the Fed continues to raise rates and hold those rates higher. One thing to remember is there's a lot of companies out there that are zombie companies. Zombie companies are companies that, can't even pay off the interest on all of their loans. A lot of these companies are just dead weight, dragging down the system and need to get flushed out. It's actually a good thing to do this. It stinks. It's usually every 10 years we go into a recession like this. We're going to see a bunch of companies fall to the wayside, but it's really one of those, we need to have the strong survive. So it stinks because a lot of times people get laid off, but we've had a very hot jobs market. So with all these job openings, if companies go to the wayside, it's going to stink because some of these people are going to lose jobs, but there's still a lot of job openings that are out there. So people are really going to be shifting jobs. And this is where we just need to, learn as humans to be able to adapt and move from one thing to another. So it's hard to go through these times, but it's something that's necessary to clean the system out, because reality is some of these companies that are going to go to the wayside could not provide for these employees what other companies can. So while it stinks that they have to lose their job in transition, they might actually find themselves better opportunities in other companies that are growing. Another thing we will most likely be seeing in 2023 is a buyback. They had mentioned on the Q3 earnings call that even if we get into a deep recession, they will still have enough cash flow coming in to be able to do a $5 to $10 billion buyback. So Elon did say that he's anticipating that this might be a recession similar to 2009. If that's the case, they've already thought about this and they can already see a potential of a buyback coming during the year. Don't forget, if things get worse before they get better and the stock price does come down further, that is the perfect time for anyone to buy, especially a company to do a buyback. So them setting themselves up with a giant stockpile of cash and plenty of free cash flow coming in allows them to do a buyback during a recession like this, which is the most ideal time for someone to do it. And two other things that we will see massive progress on in 2023 are the growth of the energy side of the Tesla business and FSD. We've got version 11 that's going to be coming out soon. Elon keeps saying next week or 2 weeks. We know Elon's time frames sometime are aggressive and they're not always right there, but we know that version 11 is coming soon. Maybe it does drop after the new year. So perhaps 2023 is going to be the year that FSD gets solved. Going to version 11 is the next giant jump for Tesla. We will see that. That is single stack, a lot of better information coming in. Then we see that go wide release, and perhaps we see this getting wide released to countries outside of North America as well to really bring in even more data. So I think we're going to see FSD and energy grow significantly in 2023. And so that is the bulk of the major things we will be seeing coming in 2023 for Tesla. So you guys can let me know in the comments below if there's anything else you guys can think of that we can see in 2023. Maybe an announcement of a compact car or the less expensive vehicle. Not sure, but you guys can let me know in the comments if there's anything else. Now this morning we did get the Made in China insured vehicles number coming out of 8,900. Again, that number is a little bit lower, but at this point right now, all China needs is just over 4,000 vehicles delivered for the final week of the year to be able to eclipse Q3 as the best-selling quarter. Now, we do know that their factory is going to be shut down for production for their vehicles for the remainder of the year, but they do still have some vehicles in inventory. And don't forget, it takes about a week for vehicles to get from production to delivered. So if they're going to be, taking all the vehicles that they produced last week, delivering them this week, that can happen. And so, you know that they're producing about 21,000 vehicles per week. So if they've got 21,000 vehicles they produced last week, they need to get delivered. Reaching that 4,000 vehicle delivered mark to achieve a record quarter is most likely going to be happening. So yes, that number is a little lower than we expected, but knowing that China is going through this rougher economic time right now kind of gives us a leading indication as to what we may see on a global basis for Tesla and all automakers going into 2023. So it's going to be a tough year coming up, and with all of this information that we just got, I think we are going to see a massive disconnect, even more so with the fundamentals and stock price, just because right now the stock is getting beat down. Looking at it at the time of this recording, we're down another 0.5%, hence the red shirt, and the entire market is actually up 0.5%. So another day, as of the time of this recording, of an underperformance by Tesla. We know that the RSI is already down under 20. It's extremely oversold. But I think a lot of what has been going on lately is a lot of accumulation of a lot of different things, between a lot of tax loss harvesting going on and a lot of people getting hit with margin calls on the way down. So when you end up having a lot of this tax loss harvesting, they have to wait a month before they can buy back in, or they cannot recognize all of these losses. And then don't forget, looking at 2023 by itself, it looks like we are going to be having a year that's not going to see the same losses that 2022 saw. Think about where we were at the peaks back in January to now where we are now. To see that same kind of topple effect coming in 2023 is not realistic. We will most likely come down a little bit further, but then at that point we're either going to go flat or even come up a little bit before the end of the year. So a lot of these big institutions and investors are not going to have the same ability to sell off losses at the end of next year. Normally it doesn't cycle 2 years in a row like that. So what we'll end up seeing is these big institutions are selling now in larger chunks for losses to carry those losses over into next year, so that when they get to the end of next year, they will already have those losses in place, since they will most likely be seeing gains in their portfolios, so they'll have that offset. So that's just realistically what we're probably going to see on a larger scale for next year for all stocks and most of the tech companies that have already taken massive beatings. So with Tesla itself, that could end up being the reason why we saw such massive sell-offs now, because those are going to be losses that companies are going to be taking at the end of next year. And so with that 30-day window, does that mean that we're going to be seeing a lot of buy-in coming back in after Q4 earnings? I don't know. That's right around that 30-day mark. We'll obviously have to wait and see what Tesla's numbers are. People aren't just going to buy in just because. We will wait and see if that's when they are going to buy back in, or if they're going to pick a different time and give themselves a little bit more of a lead time, see what happens with the stock price over that. Lots of unknowns in the very near term, but when it comes to strict purchasing and selling and looking for losses, that could explain what is happening over the next month for Tesla stock itself, and why we have been such underperformers in the entire market over the last few weeks. And so all in all, looking at all the information that we have that's going on for 2023, looking at how the macro environment could pull the stock price down a little bit further at first, we're going to see this huge discrepancy between fundamentals of the future and future cash flows versus where the stock price is now. This is why it's prime buying opportunities. You look at a guy like Warren Buffett, and this is going to be the time that he would want to buy a lot of different companies. When they're in times like this, again, fortunes are born during bear markets. We're in that position right now where we could be building that fortune. Think about the fact that Warren Buffett, who's been doing this for almost 80 years now, he goes through and he buys these things at values during these times. And then when we get into these recessions, and he's been through plenty of them, he knows what stocks cycle up during those times. He bought Occidental Petroleum back at the beginning of the year, and that has been one of the best performers over the course of this year as well. So, there's just different things that cycle in and out, and he is very good at playing that cycle. And there will come a time over the next year or so that we cycle out of that and go back into higher growth stocks. Now, Warren Buffett's not really one to get into high growth stocks, but if a company like Tesla is trading at value type prices, he might end up buying in. Whether he does or not in 2023, I'm not sure, but seeing as the compression is down as far as it is, those prices for Warren Buffett might actually look pretty enticing. So we'll see how the year plays out, but it looks like it's the year that we could potentially buy as much as we can and really change our portfolios in the future for the better. That's what my focus is. It's not financial advice, but my whole focus right now is adding as much as I can wisely in 2023, because I think we actually might see growth by the end of the year. We're not going to see the drop like we did, us seeing another 69% drop over the course of this year in 2023 is unrealistic. We may see a drop of a little bit more and then come back up by the end of the year. But if we see another drop like we saw in 2022 without a recovery by the end of 2023, I think we have some bigger problems on our hands. And with Tesla potentially dipping into value territory where Warren Buffett would like to buy it, this is also a place that a lot of larger institutions are going to want to buy it. And the other thing that we'll see in 2023 is Moody's giving Tesla the upgrade to investment grade rating for credit. This in turn means that more big money institutions will be getting into the stock by the end of 2023, leading me to believe that that trend of us going up and actually finishing positive at the end of next year is going to be a reality. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a membership program and a Patreon. Those links are also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.